Have you ever wondered why the kindest people are often the ones who get hurt the most? The problem is not their kindness. The problem is how the world misreads it. Some see kindness as weakness. Some treat generosity as an invitation to take advantage. Some confuse patience with naivety. Yet the truth is different. Kindness is not the absence of strength. It is the presence of strength in a gentler form. Imagine a person who helps a stranger carry groceries on a rainy afternoon. Others rush by, thinking only of their own comfort. The helper may get wet, even mocked by some, but the stranger's burden becomes lighter. That simple act plants a seed. Now ask yourself, who was truly stronger in that moment? The one who walked away dry, or the one who chose to give in spite of the rain? This is why kindness is so often misunderstood. It does not shout. It does not demand, but it changes the atmosphere quietly. If you find yourself resonating with this message, take a moment to like this video and subscribe. It helps us continue exploring truths that matter. There was once a craftsman in a small village. He worked with delicate clay, shaping it with care and patience. Others mocked him for wasting time on fragile work, while they built with stone and iron. One year, a great storm came. The iron fences rusted, the stone walls cracked. But the clay vessels he shaped, baked with fire and sealed with care, held firm. They carried water when the village was thirsty, and they became the very thing that sustained life. What does this story reveal? Gentleness is not fragility. It is endurance shaped by patience and resilience. Think of a river. It carves valleys not through violence, but by flowing consistently, year after year. Its softness hides a power greater than sudden force. So too with a gentle heart. It chooses compassion when bitterness seems easier. It chooses forgiveness when resentment is tempting. And by doing so, it reshapes the world around it, just as water reshapes stone. The world may call gentleness soft, but what if softness is exactly what outlasts everything else? Before we move on, share in the comments one moment when you saw kindness transform a situation. Your story may help someone else see their own gentle heart as strength, not weakness. Why do people often mistake compassion for weakness? The problem lies in how society measures strength. Loud voices are seen as powerful. Aggressive actions are labeled as decisive. But compassion rarely shouts. It whispers. And because it whispers, many overlook its force. Picture a teacher who stays late after class to listen to a struggling student. Colleagues may say, "Why waste your time?" Yet years later, that same student becomes someone who changes lives, carrying forward the kindness once given. The strength of compassion is not in immediate recognition. It is in the ripple effect that extends far beyond the moment. Ask yourself, which is harder, to retaliate when insulted or to respond with patience? Which demands more courage, to guard only oneself or to care for others even at personal cost? Every time compassion is mocked, it proves one thing: the world does not always recognize its rarest treasures until they shape history. Trust is the bridge that connects hearts, but betrayal is the fire that burns that bridge down. There is an old story of two travelers. They walked together for years, sharing food, sharing hope. One day, when danger came, one traveler traded the other's safety for a bag of silver. The betrayed one was left wounded, but he survived. And in time, he found that survival had given him wisdom that no silver could ever buy. Betrayal always cuts deepest when it comes from those close. Strangers cannot wound the heart in the same way. It is those we trusted, those we allowed into our inner circle who carry the sharpest knives. Think carefully. If something carries no worth, why would anyone seek to steal it? If a person's loyalty has no impact, why would anyone bother to break it? The presence of betrayal does not mean weakness. It means the betrayed carried something so rare, it was worth attacking. And here lies the paradox. The wound of betrayal can make the heart harder, but if endured with wisdom, it can also make the heart clearer, stronger, more discerning. Ask yourself, will betrayal silence your trust forever, or will it refine the way you give it? If you've ever walked through betrayal, write one word in the comments: healed. Your witness may be the encouragement another person needs tonight. When people hear the word boundaries, they often think of rejection. But boundaries are not walls. They are doors carefully placed that decide what should enter and what should remain outside. Imagine a garden. If left unguarded, weeds will choke the flowers. But with a fence, the garden flourishes and beauty is preserved. The fence does not reject life, it protects it. Consider a friend who gives generously but never rests. Soon, exhaustion makes their giving bitter, their smile forced. But when they learn to say, "Not now," they rediscover joy in offering again. Boundaries restore balance. Ask yourself, how many times have you given too much, only to feel empty afterward? What if wisdom is not in giving endlessly, but in giving sustainably? Boundaries are not about shutting others out. They are about keeping love alive without burning out. They allow trust to grow slowly, carefully, with discernment. Imagine a spring hidden deep in the mountains. Its waters are clear, cold, and life-giving. Travelers come to drink, and villages grow around it. As long as the spring remains pure, life around it flourishes. But when a single stream of poison enters, the entire river changes. What was once sweet becomes bitter. What once gave life now spreads harm. The human heart is that spring. When it stays pure, it becomes a source of healing, creativity, and love. But when bitterness or resentment seeps in, everything that flows outward, words, choices, relationships, becomes contaminated. Ask yourself, is your heart a spring of clarity, or is it carrying the taste of yesterday's wounds? The challenge is not only to guard against outer threats, but also to protect against inner corrosion. The world may throw disappointment, betrayal, or envy into your stream, but purity is preserved when the heart chooses forgiveness instead of bitterness, hope instead of despair. If this image speaks to you, type the word pure in the comments. Together, let's remind each other that purity is strength, not weakness. For centuries, wisdom has been carried not just in words, but in stories and symbols. In one parable, a pearl is hidden in the depths of the sea. Fishermen cast their nets for years but overlook it. Only the one who dives deeper, patiently, finds the treasure. The pearl is small, yet it holds immeasurable value. What does this mean? The heart, like the pearl, is easily overlooked by those who only see surfaces. Its value is discovered only by those willing to see beyond appearances. Another image, the lamp placed on a hill. Its flame is fragile, but its light reaches far. The symbol reveals a paradox. What looks delicate can hold the greatest influence. And still another, the crown. Not of gold alone, but of responsibility. It reminds us that to guard the heart is also to guard destiny. Ask yourself, which symbol speaks to you most deeply? The pearl, the lamp, or the crown? What does it reveal about your own life? If one of these images touched you, share it in the comments. Others may find their own reflection in your choice. Here lies one of the greatest challenges of life. How can a person protect their heart without turning it into stone? Imagine a traveler carrying a fragile lantern through a storm. He shields the flame with his hands, keeping it alive. If he covers it too tightly, the flame suffocates. If he exposes it recklessly, the wind blows it out. Balance is the secret. Many who are hurt swing to extremes. Some shut everyone out, building walls so high that even love cannot enter. Others let everyone in, leaving themselves unguarded against wounds. Both paths lead to emptiness. Ask yourself, is it possible to remain open yet discerning? Can one be strong without becoming cold? The answer is yes. Protection means learning to say, not yet, without saying never. It means giving love with wisdom, not withdrawing it out of fear. It means choosing boundaries that preserve tenderness rather than erase it. If you believe in this balance, write light in the comments. Together, let's remind each other that protection and softness can coexist. Pain is a teacher no one chooses, but everyone meets. It comes in betrayal and loss, in words that wound deeper than knives. At first, pain feels like an end. But what if pain is not the ending, but the beginning of transformation? There was once a tree struck by lightning. Its trunk was scarred, its branches broken. Yet from the wound, new shoots appeared. Over time, the scar itself became the strongest part of the tree. Forgiveness is the turning point. It does not excuse what was done, but it refuses to let bitterness poison the spring. To forgive is to say, this pain will not define the rest of my life. Ask yourself, what weighs more heavily, the wound itself or the chain of resentment that follows it? Every time forgiveness is chosen, transformation begins. What looked like the end becomes the start of resilience. What looked like weakness becomes evidence of strength. If you are ready to release pain, type free in the comments. Your words may be the first step toward your own healing. The world often measures success in quick victories, money earned, power gained, influence shown. But love is not measured in moments. It is measured in generations. Think of a farmer planting seeds he will never see harvested. Others laugh, saying, "Why plant what you will not eat?" Yet decades later, shade trees stand tall, feeding and sheltering those who come after. Love is not about winning today's argument. It is about shaping tomorrow's atmosphere. It shifts the unseen more than it conquers the visible. Ask yourself, what will outlast you, the wealth you gathered or the kindness you left behind? The paradox of love is this: it may look slow, but it is the only force that truly endures. Empires collapse, technologies change, but the impact of love continues in lives touched. If you believe in planting seeds for the future, share this video with one person today. It may be the seed that changes their season. We live in a time of noise, distraction, and shadows. Negativity spreads faster than hope. Cynicism speaks louder than trust. But inside, every person is a light. It may flicker in the storm, but it does not vanish. Imagine walking through a cave with only one small candle. The darkness feels overwhelming. Yet even the faintest flame pushes shadows back. Your inner light is expressed through patience in conflict, kindness in cruelty, and hope in despair. It does not erase shadows instantly, but it shifts them enough for others to see a path forward. Ask yourself, what if your quiet persistence is the very thing that keeps someone else from giving up? The world does not need more shadows. It needs more lamps on the hill, more small flames refusing to go out. If you carry that light, type shine in the comments. Together, let's remind each other that even the smallest flame matters. We began with a question: why is kindness so often misunderstood? And we arrive at a truth: because kindness is strength hidden in gentleness. The heart is a golden spring. It is a pearl, a crown, a light. But it must be guarded, not with walls that harden, but with wisdom that protects. Pain will come, betrayal will wound, but forgiveness and wisdom can transform those very wounds into strength. Love, though slow, outlasts everything else. Light, though small, outshines every shadow. Ask yourself, what will your legacy be? A hardened shell or a flame that others remember? Meaning, to guard the heart is to preserve the light that makes life possible. If this message has touched you, take a moment to like, subscribe, and share. Your action may carry this light to someone who desperately needs it. And remember, guard the heart. Keep the flame. Because through you, the world will see that gentleness is not weakness, but wisdom burning bright.